What made you realize there was something off about your family? In my house, women got weighed every morning at 6 a.m. sharp. If you gained even half a pound, you were locked in the empty bedroom without food until you lost it. My mom spent 3 days in there once because she retained water during her period. When she came out, her lips were cracked and she could barely stand, but she smiled and thanked my father for helping her stay beautiful. I was just 8 years old at the time, and I thought that's just how life was. So by the time I turned 15, I'd seen my sister pass out twice, my cousin sneaking water from the bathroom tap, and my aunt teaching her daughter to make herself throw up after family dinners. The men would eat full plates while we picked at salads, calculating every bite. The rules were simple. Step on the scale every morning in front of your father or husband. If the number went up, you went to the room. No exceptions, no excuses, except of course for pregnancy. But even then, you had 6 weeks after birth to get back to your marriage weight, or you'd be sent back to the room. And one day, I was graced with something beautiful. Not pregnancy, it was a hobby, wrestling. Because it was wrestling season at school, and that's when I had my light bulb moment. Watched boys dropping 5 pounds overnight for weigh-ins using water manipulation. They dehydrate before weighing, then rehydrate after. It was dangerous, but it was temporary. I became obsessed with weight manipulation techniques. Caffeine pills as diuretics, helps you pee more. The exact timing of water intake. How to drop 3 pounds overnight and gain it back by noon without anyone noticing. But I couldn't keep this to myself. Not when my 12-year-old cousin was crying with hunger every day. Not when my sister was losing her hair from malnutrition. So I started a sewing circle every Thursday afternoon, teaching the girls in my family to embroider. Except between the stitches, I taught them other things. How to use natural diuretics the night before weigh-ins. How to wake up at 4 a.m. to sweat in garbage bags, then shower before the 6 a.m. weigh-in. How to use those hydration packets to put into your water afterwards. We got scientific about it, tracking our cycles to know when we'd retain water, taking measurements to prove we weren't actually gaining fat even if the scale fluctuated. Some girls learned to manipulate their weight by 5 pounds in either direction, eating full meals while still hitting their morning numbers, all to avoid the room. But I taught them something else too, how to document everything. I showed them how to take photos of the scale readings, how to record the sound of locks clicking, how to hide phones in the punishment room. We kept medical records showing the dangerous dehydration cycles we were forcing on our bodies. 6 months into our sewing circle, everything fell apart. I taught the girls to reprogram digital scales using magnets, making them read 5 pounds lighter. It was supposed to be foolproof. We'd all been eating normally for weeks while our fathers praised our discipline. But my uncle bought a new scale, a mechanical one. Old-fashioned, no electronics to hack. That morning, every woman in the house was 5 pounds over. The men went insane. They thought we'd coordinated some kind of rebellion. As they dragged girl after girl to the punishment rooms, they had to use bedrooms, closets, the basement, because there weren't enough official rooms. My 13-year-old cousin started screaming, "We haven't gained weight. We've been faking the numbers. We've been eating this whole time." She pulled out her phone, showing months of documentation, real weights versus manipulated ones, the scale hacking tutorials, everything. The room went silent. My uncle's face turned purple as he scrolled through her phone. Screenshots of our group chat, videos of us teaching each other to reprogram scales, time-stamped photos showing girls eating full dinners while their morning weigh-ins showed losses. "You poisonous little..." He raised his hand to strike her, but that's when we heard the sirens. My cousin smiled through her tears. I've been live streaming for the past 10 minutes. Full story on channel, link below.